Okay, let's talk wind power. But I want you to forget everything you think you know. Seriously, we're not talking about those giant turbines you see out on some remote hill. Nope, we're talking about a power revolution, and it's happening right in our own backyards, all thanks to these tiny turbines.
So let's dive right in. The first thing we need to do, we've got to challenge that classic image of wind energy that we all have stuck in our heads.
I mean, when I say wind power, what's the first thing that you picture? I'm willing to bet it's something like a huge, wide open space dotted with,
Yep, these giants, right? Huge, towering turbines spinning slowly way out on some remote hillside. It feels so industrial, so massive, and always miles away from where any of us actually live. That's the image we all know.
but here's the thing. What if that picture is totally incomplete? What if I told you wind power could be, well, personal? Like something you could literally have right on your own building.
And this is exactly the shift we're talking about. Look at this. We're going from the massive industrial scale on the left to the small, personal scale on the right. This idea is called microgeneration, and believe me, it is a total game changer.
Okay, so how does this actually work? How do you take the wind blowing around your building and turn it into electricity for your home? It's actually way simpler than you might think.
All right, here's the basic setup. You've got the wind, which, you guessed it, turns the blades. That spinning motion powers a generator, and voila, you've got electricity. From there, just a little bit of tech magic gets that power ready for your house. It's really just a simple three-step process. First, the blades catch the wind's energy. Step 2, a generator converts that motion into DC electricity. Now, DC power is kind of like a one-way street for electricity. The thing is, all the stuff in our homes runs on AC power, which is more like a two-way street. So for step 3, an inverter steps in and changes the current from DC to AC, making it perfect for your home or for storing in a battery.
But here's something cool. They don't all look the same, not by a long shot. It's not a one-size-fits-all kind of deal. These turbines actually come in a bunch of different shapes and sizes. You've basically got two main flavors. On one hand, you have the horizontal axis type. It looks just like a classic propeller, right? But it has to be pointing directly into the wind to work. Then you've got the vertical axis. This one looks kind of like an egg beater, and its superpower is that it can catch wind from literally any direction. That makes it absolutely perfect for places like cities, where the wind is all gusty and chaotic. And here's a look at both of them. On the left, you've got that classic design we all recognize. And on the right, that super futuristic-looking vertical turbine. I mean, how cool is that? They're two totally different but brilliant solutions to the exact same problem: how to make your own power right where you live. Okay, but this whole thing is way bigger than just one house generating its own power. When you start connecting a bunch of these personal power plants together in a neighborhood, you actually start to change the entire energy grid as we know it. And this is where the real magic comes in. It's a concept called a microgrid. The easiest way to think about it is like a modern, small-scale power grid just for a local community or even a single building. It's this local approach that makes the whole thing tick. And check this out. This is what makes it so powerful for you. You can power your home directly, or you can be totally off-grid. You're in complete control. You're no longer just a consumer. You're a producer. So why should you care? Why go small? Well, for starters, you're way less dependent on the big main grid. It can seriously reduce your energy costs. It makes your power supply more reliable, especially during outages. And it just makes it so much easier to bring renewable energy into the mix. Think about it. When a big storm hits and the power goes out for the whole block, your lights could be the ones that stay on.
So when you boil it all down, what's the one key takeaway here?
Well, the big idea is actually pretty simple. See, for the last 100 years or so, we've gotten our power from these huge, centralized plants far, far away. But that's changing. The future isn't about that anymore. The future of power is small, it's local, and it's personal. So I want to leave you with this question. What if your own home, or the building you're in right now, became its very own power plant? What if it wasn't just using energy, but was actually producing it? Just think about that. If you found this interesting and want to learn more about where our energy is headed, make sure you subscribe to Energy Simply Explained. Thanks so much for joining me.